Is Trump now getting desperate for new weapons after effectively admitting how successful Iran was at punching through American defenses during the war? With plans to churn out nearly 400 THAAD interceptors a year, is the U.S. openly struggling to catch up to Iran's missile arsenal and the damage it has already done? Is a massive billion-dollar defense strain now staring Trump in the face after a self-imposed war with Iran, forcing him to refill stockpiles at eye-watering cost? Did the U.S. really burn through around $3.5 billion worth of THAADs just to fight Iran's onslaught in 2026, raising questions about how sustainable this shield really is? In 2025, did the U.S. blow through more than 150 THAADs in just 12 days during what Iran calls a test, showing how fast even the most advanced systems can run dry? Can a $35 billion rearmament plan really save THAAD from Iran's Fatah missiles? Or is Washington pouring money into a system Tehran claims it has already outpaced? Amid a frantic post-Iran war rearmament, Washington is rushing to rebuild its THAAD missile shield, treating interceptor stocks as an urgent priority. The U.S. has handed Lockheed Martin a contract worth up to $35 billion for new THAAD missiles, turning the system into one of the Pentagon's biggest checkbooks. The deal aims to ramp annual THAAD output from roughly 96 interceptors to nearly 400 a year, a four-fold surge meant to refill magazines as fast as possible. This production surge comes after enormous THAAD expenditure during the Iran war, when batteries fired round after round against massed missile and drone attacks. Reports suggest more than half of all U.S. THAAD interceptors were used up during the conflict, leaving stockpiles dangerously thin by the time the guns fell silent. In June 2025 alone, over 150 THAAD interceptors were launched in just 12 days, illustrating how quickly high-end defenses can be drained by a sustained barrage. Each THAAD interceptor is estimated to cost around $15.5 million to fire, turning every successful shoot-down into a multi-million-dollar decision. U.S. missile stockpiles were reportedly under pressure even before the Iran war began, as years of deployments and exports eroded the safety margin. By March 2026, Israeli media Haaretz claimed 8 out of 10 Iranian missiles were still hitting their targets, despite dense layers of Western air defenses. This performance came despite what analysts called an extreme concentration of THAAD and other defense systems deployed to shield key Israeli sites. The same reports suggest Iran's success rates rose as U.S. and Israeli interceptor stocks became exhausted, exposing gaps that mass salvos could then exploit. Losses of key radar assets further blinded the defensive network, shrinking THAAD's effective envelope and letting more missiles slip through. THAAD's role in defending Israel during June 2025 alone reportedly cost over $2.35 billion, a staggering bill for less than a month of intercepts. The longer 2026 war with Iran is believed to have pushed total THAAD costs close to $3.5 billion, as batteries kept firing to protect bases and cities. Shortages grew so severe that THAAD batteries had to be redeployed from South Korea to the Middle East, leaving one hotspot thinner to plug the gap in another. Analysts argue that more interceptors will help blunt mass saturation attacks, giving commanders extra shots when Iran launches large, mixed salvos. However, they also warn that THAAD still faces serious challenges from Iran's newer missile designs, which are built to stress and outmaneuver existing shields. The Fatah and Fatah II systems are highlighted as major tests for missile defense, with maneuverable trajectories and high speeds that could strain even a rebuilt THAAD wall. Days after the US-Iran Memorandum of Understanding, President Trump acknowledged that Iran still retains some military capability. Trump said Iran is not winning, but admitted the country still has the ability to launch attacks. His latest remarks appeared to contrast with earlier claims that the US and Israel had crippled Iran's military.
It's one of the biggest things ever to happen in the Middle East, the killing of Soleimani. People have said it's the biggest thing to happen in 100 years because he was a dominant force. I actually think that Khomeini and all of the people in Iran were happy about it because they were afraid of him too. Over the past few weeks, the stock market and your 401ks skyrocketed upward like pretty much nobody's seen before. Oil prices are plummeting downward, and the world is a much safer place. We had to take that detour to knock out Iran. If we didn't do that, and we're still, we still have a fight. They have some capability, not much. They're not winning or anything, but they have some capability. They can still shoot. You know, they shot a drone yesterday at a big ship going into the Hormuz Strait. They shot 4 of them. We knocked down 3 of them. One of them, I guess, we didn't miss it. Nobody saw it coming. And it hit a ship and did some damage. But you can't do that stuff. But very soon we're going to be at $2.50 gasoline. You know, we're doing much better this time. And again, we did have to make that excursion. How would you like to be given the best numbers we've ever had as a country and tell people, guess what, we're going to war, and nobody in the room knew what I was talking about because it wasn't their thing. And I said, we got to stop them from having a nuclear weapon. Because you want to see problems? Let a crazy country have a nuclear weapon. You'll see problems like you've never seen before.
Trump linked his remarks to the recent drone attack on commercial shipping near the Strait of Hormuz. The president said 4 Iranian drones were launched, with 3 intercepted and 1 striking a cargo vessel. U.S. officials said the Singapore-flagged MV Ever Lovely was damaged in the incident but remained afloat. Tehran did not claim responsibility for the attack but defended its authority over approved shipping routes. Iran also warned that vessels using unauthorized routes could lose access to safe passage through the strategic waterway. IRGC Navy warned ships to use only Iran-approved maritime routes while transiting the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. The force said any transit outside officially designated shipping corridors is prohibited, according to Press TV. In a June 25 statement, the IRGC described the use of unauthorized routes as both unacceptable and potentially dangerous. The Navy said all vessels must coordinate with Iranian authorities before entering or transiting the waterway. The warning came days after chief negotiator Baghir Ghalibaf pledged what he called a new reality in Hormuz. Iran's parliament speaker said the crucial shipping lane would never return to its pre-war operating conditions. The issue of Hormuz restrictions remains one of the most sensitive unresolved matters, following the U.S.-Iran Memorandum of Understanding. The agreement signed by Washington and Tehran seeks to halt the cycle of escalation, confrontation, and retaliation. Under the MOU, Iran agreed to facilitate commercial shipping through the corridor during a 60-day implementation period. However, Tehran has repeatedly stressed that safe passage remains conditional on coordination with Iranian authorities.